today I got a request. I love requests. Thank you, Vicky, for the request for hips. So let's get hippy. It's important to help our hips be nice and healthy and mobile, because as you can see, my hip's pretty mobile. I can sit here, and when I'm sitting here, I can sit nice and tall, that my spine is not affected by the simple act of sitting. It becomes easier and easier to get in and out of cars, to get up and down. You just feel better and more ease in your body. So that's physical benefits. You also get benefits of the reproductive system and reproductive organs. So a lot of the things that we will do today is actually what I teach when I teach yoga for fertility. But then also, you can also request, so all the mental benefits apply too. And then you can also request mental things as well. Really utilize my clinical training so that I deliver what you need. So comment, share, let's share the love. So if you haven't already started seated, come up to a seated position. Root the sit bones into the ground. So if you notice that your spine has a hard time staying nice and long, and it's maybe rounding, sit on something. Hips higher than knees. Takes that pressure off the low back and pressure off the hips. Long spine, roll the shoulders down and back. Chin parallel to the floor and tuck the head back slightly. So it's right on top of the shoulders, nice long line of energy along your spine. Your lungs can breathe freely. Allow your shoulders to droop away from the ears and rest your hands on your knees. Feel free to make a mudra if you like. It's thumb and forefinger is Gyan Mudra, where wisdom meets the ego. Fingers up for receiving energy. Fingers pointing down for grounding. In the beginning, I really like fingers pointing down. Feel free to close your eyes. Closed eyes often helps to bring your attention and be more mindful of your internal sensations. When your eyes are open, that's just an extra distraction. However, some people find it more beneficial to keep their eyes open. So if you do, just gaze off into the distance without really focusing on anything. Bring your awareness to your breath. Notice as you inhale and exhale out of your nose. Just noticing how your body breathes without needing to change it, to control it. Suspend any judgment that pops into your mind. Acknowledge them, and then bring your awareness back to just observing the breath in your body. Bring your awareness to your hips. Notice any sensations in the hips. Notice any thoughts about your hips. Just observing and not following any thoughts or any judgments. Send your hips a smile, compassion, and understanding. They have been working very well for you your entire life. Bringing gratitude for your hips. And set an intention here. It might just be to be patient with yourself while we're getting hippy. Begin to deepen your breath, sending the air as you inhale, sending the air all the way down to your belly, expanding your belly in all directions, filling up your lungs completely, expanding your ribs all the way up to your collarbone, and then exhale the air from your collarbone, contract your ribs, contract your belly, belly button to the back of the spine so all the carbon dioxide waste goes out, giving your lungs space and room to fill up on your inhale, full of fresh, nourishing oxygen. This is a 3-part yogic breath, otherwise known as deep breathing. In Yin Yoga, we add one more breathing technique called the ocean breath. Apply a slight constriction at the back of your throat. It's like fogging up a window or trying to clean your glasses, but your mouth is closed. So a breathy breath out of your nose. Make sure you can hear your breath. And as you hear your breath and feel your breath, these are other objects to pay attention to in the stillness while you meditate. Beautiful. On your next inhale, slowly open your eyes. And let's begin with butterfly. Come bring the 2 soles of your feet together as you make your legs into a diamond. So heels farther apart, you'll feel it more in the hips. Heels closer to the groin, you'll feel it more into the inner legs and groin. I like to say, do something in the middle. Soften and relax the muscles in your legs, in your hips, and notice how high your knees are. If your knees are quite high, gravity over time will press on them. It might get too intense. So this is why we've got our props. Blocks, pillows, blankets, at whatever height that is supportive to you. That is what is important. As you're nice and relaxed here, feeling a sensation in the hips, start to round forward. Monitor the sensation as your muscles are relaxed until you get to the optimal sensation. So there's no pain, just a dull compression pressure so that something is happening. If you normally do this shape in your hatha practice, the one where you use your muscles and you generate heat in your body, then you're going to go about 70 to 80% as far as you can. So you're going to go less because we're here for longer. Find yourself nice and comfortable. Build your own custom cloud, maybe stacking your props. As you know where you are in your depth, then you stack your props up to you and completely relax. That might mean that you're putting blocks up to rest your forehead on so your neck and spine can relax. If the blocks don't reach, no problem. Use your arms. Just suspend yourself on your arms, bow the head forward, and relax that way. Breathe long and deep ocean breaths. Monitor the sensation in your body. Notice those areas where you feel a compression sensation, a pulling sensation, where the work is happening. And you'll probably notice that one place of the body, you'll feel it more than other places. That is the place that you need it most. Make sure that that place is nice and soft and relaxed, so it's really going into the connective tissues. If you notice that a muscle is starting to tense up, that could be your body's muscles trying to protect your joints. If your joints are protected by your consciousness, because you are monitoring the sensation, then you can tell your muscles, I got this. You can relax, take a vacation. And then settle in and enjoy butterfly. structurally butterfly ascending blood and energy to your hips, to your pelvis, to your pelvic organs. When I teach yoga for fertility, there's ladies in my room, but I also tell them that do this with your spouse, male or female, because this also helps for the reproductive organs of both sexes. Exhale all the air out. On your inhale, slowly push yourself up. Take away any props. Bring your hands underneath your knees and help your knees to press together. Feet hip distance apart on the floor. Hands right underneath your shoulders beside your hips. Press the hips up in a reverse tabletop. This is a counter pose to release blood flow, energy flow in the hips. If head all the way back, if there's any pinching in the neck, bring the chin to chest. Usually only 2 full deep breaths usually might be enough to take that out of the hips, and then lower down and come back to a seated position. I'll give you some variations for shoelace. So we're moving the legs, the hips in all its degrees of freedom. Bottom leg. So left leg, bend the left leg, underneath. Actually, let's do it this way. Left leg straight, heel towards the middle of the midline of the body. Bring the right ankle beside the left hip. Sandwich the right knee on top of the left knee. Then just bend the bottom leg so left heel is by right hip. Now, no problem if the knees aren't doing this. Sometimes the knees up here, put whatever you need. We're targeting the right hip most likely. However, a lot of people tell me they feel it in the left hip as well. So if this isn't accessible, no problem. You can definitely still do your hips. Cross your legs, right shin on top for this one, and start to fold forward. Monitoring the sensation in your body. Start to fold forward, put whatever you need underneath you. Soften, relax hips and legs. Still staying in this relaxed state, soft muscle state. When you got to your good sensation where you can stay there for a while, put whatever you need underneath you, maybe stacking up underneath the forehead so that you can relax your neck, or use your hands to suspend yourself up on. your breath in through the nostrils, down into your belly. And notice where in your body you feel it. Notice the change in sensation as you inhale and exhale. Breathe into your hips, your low back, wherever you feel it, your neck. When you bring your awareness to that area and notice the breath in that area, that's what teachers mean when they say breathe into your hips or breathe into said body part. Breathe into the sensation, nourishing yourself with fresh oxygen, and release it all out. Relaxing the nervous system, cleansing your body, releasing waste. You don't need that anymore. Releasing carbon dioxide. You don't need that anymore. Releasing any uncomfortable emotions, accepting them, release them. You don't need that one anymore. Exhale all the air out. On your inhale, slowly press yourself up. Take away any props. Lean back, unravel your legs. Feet wider than hip distance. If you need to go really slow, creaky, moaning, that means you did it right. Swish the knees side to side, or maybe I should say you did it for long enough and deep enough. So swishing the knees in windshield wiper, getting shoelace out of the hips. Let's do the other side. So right leg straight, right heel towards the midline of the body. Left heel next to right hip. Sandwich the left knee above the right knee. And then bend the bottom leg. Hips in between heels. Relax, soften legs. If you're in cross-legged, left shin in front of right shin. Perfect. Put whatever you need underneath you. Now I know Zach does something interesting with his strap because that top leg likes to splay out. So it's very creative. Thank you for that example. So all nice and relaxed, get into your perfect depth. Be in the stillness. Soak up the benefits from shoelace. Anywhere that you feel it, benefits are happening in all of those places. Soak it up and receive. you've noticed some tingling in a foot, don't worry, it won't fall off. Just ease up, make the sensation less in your body. Try to still stay in the pose. If the sensation starts to increase, become uncomfortable, maybe even notice some muscles are starting to tighten to protect that area, that means that gravity has done a really good job. And so that's your body communicating to you to just ease up a little bit. Still stay in the pose for the entire time. We're doing beginner times, so it's safe. Ease up. Never go into pain. Exhale all the air out. And then inhale, slowly push yourself up. Take away your props. Lean back. Slowly unravel your legs. Feet wider than hip distance. And swish the knees side to side and windshield wiper. When you're ready, come meet me in tabletop. So if you have 2 blocks, place one underneath each hand. So in tabletop, hands, spread the fingers wide, hands underneath the shoulders, shoulder distance apart. This gives you the most stability in your shoulders and your shoulder girdle. Bring the right foot in between your hands. Slide the left knee all the way back, sinking the hips down, noticing the big sensation going on in front of the left hip, the hip flexor. Suspend yourself on your arms. Relax your legs and your hips as much as possible. I know this is not a completely relaxing pose. Let's say not a relaxing pose at all, but that's okay. We're doing the best in dragon to relax and work on the hips, but as this is a more active pose, we're not in it for that long. Breathe long and deep. Inhale, sending in grace, peace. Exhale, send out tension. Whatever that tension is, send it out through your exhale. You can even imagine it as a colored smoke that as you keep on exhaling, gets lighter and lighter, taking out all the tension from your hips, taking out all the tension from your mind. Exhale all the air out. Inhale, slowly raise your hips. Bring your leg back. Hands underneath the shoulders, spreading the fingers wide, press the fingertips into the mat. Curl the toes under, lift the hips up, and walk your dog. Bend one knee, send the other heel to the floor, vice versa. Or windshield wiper. And then let's come back down onto the knees, come back into tabletop. Bring the right knee behind the right wrist for swan. If your hips are wider than your shoulders, then your knee is probably going to go a little bit on the outside of the wrist. Shin is about 45-degree angle. Slide the left leg, left foot all the way back. Left ankle in line with left hip. Soften and relax hips, legs. So if your hip is high above, put whatever you need underneath your hip. If you notice that as you start to float down, maybe you're stacking some props to relax, and you notice that you're lopsided, put something underneath you so two hips are in one line. And of course, when you found your optimal depth, your Goldilocks pose shape, the one that is working for you, relax, surrender, and receive the benefits. Notice sensations. Notice spontaneous thoughts and distractions. Congratulate yourself for noticing. Suspend any judgment on them. And then gently, lovingly refocus back into the present moment. Physical sensations, breath, attention to calm and relaxation, the music, enjoy. Common questions. Sometimes people feel a sensation in the knee. If you do, bring your right heel closer underneath your body. No sensation in the knee, and then come back down. If you still feel sensation, there's issues, you're not really getting into your hips. Do a figure 4, left ankle over left, or right ankle over left knee. Thread the needle, targeting your hip, laying down in a supine swan. And of course, to add to that, you can also stay seated. If you're feeling it, you're doing it, and you're doing it right. Exhale all the air out. On your inhale, slowly press yourself out and feel free to do your counter pose, either walking your dog or windshield wiper. So I'll do both. Walking my dog, swishing my hips. Move your body in a way that feels good. So really what you did is you compressed some parts, and that causes a tourniquet effect for the blood. Nice fresh oxygen, nourishing blood, pooling to that area so that when you release it and move around that area, fresh nourishing blood goes to those areas. Setting back up for dragon on the left side. Use your 2 blocks. I think one of my yin videos, maybe it was the second one, I used a chair for this pose. I'm using blocks. So hands shoulder distance apart on top of your blocks. Bring the left foot in between the hands. Slide the right knee all the way down. So what I mean about a chair is I would put a chair here and relax on it. So for this, just suspend yourself up on your arms. Breathe in peace. Breathe in grace. Breathe out tension. An opening sensation along the front of the right hip, the hip flexor. A compression in the left hip flexor. Soften and relax your hips, glutes, legs, neck as much as you can, but also sending yourself that compassion that this is just going to be a pose where you're not going to be relaxed. Exhale all the air out. Inhale, slowly raise your hips. Bring the left leg back. Take away your blocks, your props. And work that out either in walking your dog or windshield wiper or any other movement that feels right for you. And you don't need to do both, you just need to do one. And then come find me in tabletop. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Setting up for swan on the left side, bring the left knee behind the wrist. If you have wider hips, bring the knee out to the outside a little bit. Shin, about a 45-degree angle, and slide the right leg all the way back. Right ankle in line with right hip. So wherever you land, soften. You'll know where to put your props. You may need to stack them nice and high, no problem. When you found your comfortable spot, relax forward. Maybe there was some automatic thoughts going on. Usually that happens when we do one side and the other. Just know that no two sides are ever the same. You are normal. And the body is very interesting. Usually if, just as an example, my left hamstring is more open, flexible than my right. But then you have my right hip more open and flexible than my left. So the body does this crisscross type of thing. And you'll notice. Begin to notice with compassion. Sending yourself compassion. Compassion as you breathe in. Warmth as you breathe out. Exhale all the air out. On your inhale, slowly press yourself up. Take away any props. Nice and slow and gentle. And do your counter pose, maybe walking your dog, windshield wiper. Lower down and come to sitting on your heels. Toes touching, not overlapping. Bring the knees as wide as you can. Wide, 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 so you can feel inner legs growing. Then start to walk your hips forward so that your hips become in line with your knees. So as you bring your hips to your knees, you may need to slide out a little bit. Put whatever you need underneath you, and you'll learn what feels best. Usually you have to experiment so that you can come forward, and of course the magic word, relax. So this is tadpole with the toes touching. Full frog would be opening up, making 2 right angles with the legs. Ankles in line with knees. Soften and relax your hips. Soften and relax inner legs and groin. This is definitely a pose where it's easy to be in it and then still feel that your hip muscles are tightening up. So go higher than you think you're going to need, and put all the supportive things underneath your body so that you support your joints, giving love and support to your hips. Breathe long, deep ocean breaths. Take 3 more long, deep breaths here. And then start to army crawl yourself forward, slowly releasing that out of your hips. And then roll around onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Maybe you can grab either elbow, just so that any tension or interlace fingers, just so you can release as much tension as you can. Relax hips and legs. So it's an effortless hugging your knees into your chest. Two options for the twist that feels right for you in your body. Simple twist, arms shoulder height along the floor. Lay the knees over to the right. If your knees don't quite reach the ground, no problem. Put a prop underneath, or maybe even in between, because maybe there's some pinching going on. So you're relaxed. Look over in the other direction so the twist goes into the entire spine. If you want to do twisted roots, it's eagle legs. So left leg over right, twist like ropes. Left ankle curves around and underneath the right calf, and then over to the right. So left leg over right, twisting over to the right, and then if you don't reach the floor, put whatever you need underneath you. Head over to the other side and relax. left shoulder is off the ground. Beautiful. You're getting work, stuff is happening, benefits are happening in your shoulder as well. Breathe long, deep ocean breaths. Part of the physical benefits of any physical practice, all the yogas, just for an example, is that you also get to benefit your organs and your glands. So here, there's a nice squeeze for your pancreas, the liver, spleen, all your digestive organs are being stimulated to work better, to digest your food better. And the deeper you breathe, the more the massage. So your nutrients get to your cells more efficiently and more of them because your digestion breaks them down more efficiently. Smile in your liver. Exhale all the air out. On your inhale, untwist, bring your knees to the middle. If you're in twisted roots, unravel your legs. Hug your knees into your chest. Whatever you did on the first side, do it on the second. So if you are doing twisted roots, right leg over left, bend, twist. Now, of course, you don't have to twist completely like me. You can leave it, leave your feet to flop, bring your knees over to the left. Put whatever you need underneath them, support your body as best you can, and soften and relax. So this is more than just something for your hips, also for your spine, and wherever you're feeling it. A lot of these poses target more than one area. as you inhale and exhale. Enjoy the journey of your breath. Follow the entire length of the inhale, the pause, and the entire length of the exhale, and the pause that follows that. Exhale all the air out. On your inhale, untwist. Unravel your legs. Hug your knees into your chest, so helping your spine to come back to a straight, long position. Envision that all 26 vertebrae are lined up, all in a row. Do any movements, maybe circling with your knees. That massages the low back, circling in both directions. Do one more hug in. Press the low back into the mat. Tuck the chin in, growing your neck along the mat. And then relax, release your legs, your arms into your most favorite Shavasana. Relaxation pose, the ultimate restorative pose. Usually feet are wider than hip distance to relax the hips. Arms usually around 45 degrees from the body, palms up to relax the shoulder blades. And then just release ocean breathing and breathe naturally and normally. Bless you. Soften and relax from head to toe. Sink into the floor. Float. Be soft. Notice the back and forth movement of your belly. As you inhale, belly rises. As you exhale, belly falls. Like a graceful feather falling from the sky, gentle lullaby. As your gentle breath lulls you into a deep, relaxed state. Each breath relaxes you even more. breath. Bringing in more oxygen, more movement into your body. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And do circles with your wrists and ankles. Circle in one direction. And circle in the other direction. That's really good for circulation. It's helpful to circle your wrists and ankles every day for your circulatory system. Inhaling your arms up above your head, point your toes, give yourself a nice stretch. And then roll onto your, bend your knees and roll onto your left side using your bicep as a pillow. And then come up to a seated position. So if you're on a block for the beginning grounding, then put your hips back up on a block. Root the sit bones into the support beneath you. Lengthen your spine, roll the shoulders down and back, chin parallel to the floor, nice long spine. Bring the head back slightly so it's right on top of the shoulders. Bring the hands on into heart center, pressing the knuckles of the thumbs into the center of the chest. Shoulders down and back. Allow the shoulders to just droop away from the ears. Notice how your hips feel now. Just noticing. Bring your mind to your intention. Whether you remembered it throughout class or not, that's okay. The more and more you set up intentions, the greater attention you place on intention, the more they start to manifest into the present moment. And it's a practice, this attention training. Gradually, with practice, it becomes more fruitful. Send down compassion, forgiveness, warm, positive regards to your hips. Thank you, hips, for being that big supporting structure that holds me together. For housing my reproductive organs. The great gift of creating life. Thank you. Send yourself blessings, well wishes. Send each other. Send your blessings and well wishes to everyone. And I bless and wish everyone, you who's watching, everyone, compassion and love. Have a beautiful evening. The light in me honors the light in you.